So over many years, I've written about the midterm miracle. When we've historically had midterm election year in the United States, the first 3/4 of the year in America tend to be a little bit grinding and sideways as politicians running for office in both parties screech extremist rhetoric to their bases jockeying for position in party primaries in the first part of the year. And that extreme rhetoric tends to be frightening to people. And that fright tends to ripple over into political fear associated with stocks, which tends to put a volatile damper on U.S. returns in the first 3/4 of the year. The first 3/4 of the year in midterm election years over the last century have risen just a little over half the time. Yet, in the fourth quarter, they've risen 88% of history, and with significant positive returns, averaging about 7% in the fourth quarter. The question that people around the world ask is, does that ripple into foreign stocks? And the answer is not 100%, but significantly. And the way to see that, you look at the correlation between the U.S. stock market, as best represented by the S&P 500, perhaps, and comparable cap-weighted indexes overseas, and you say, what's the correlation? Where if they correlated perfectly, it would be a 1-to-1 ratio. If they moved exactly in inverse, it would be a negative 1.0 number. When you look at stocks around the world, with the exception of quite a few less developed nations, the correlations tend to be over 0.5. And for the market as a whole, outside of the United States, they tend to be in the high 80s. And so therefore, yes, what is good for U.S. stocks tends to ripple out, but not 100%, not perfectly, to other countries.